Hello, how are you? So in this video we'll be doing something which is escaping backgrounds once again. I found an app called Magicplan which is great for backgrounds, especially when you hate drawing backgrounds. If you're an artist and you like drawing backgrounds, congrats, you've escaped the doom of not enjoying drawing backgrounds. When you hate drawing backgrounds, like me, I hate. The thing is, I like drawing backgrounds, but I don't like using perspective lines. I hate that. That is something made by the devil, I don't know. I found this app called Magicplan, which is a 3D app which uses math and my god. It's great for architects, like actual architects. Like I use this app like it's The Sims, which would be the best way that I could describe it. It works really well. If you can see me like doing stuff, I don't know, calm down. Let me formulate my phrases. Like when you open the app, you are presented with a simple interface with, it's all like very clean and white and gray and simple-ish. Maybe. And you have 2 free projects that you can use, like 2 free houses you can make, or anything you want, like a park or something as well, if you would so prefer to do. But I decided to make Selena's house because it's a house that I don't have a background for, and I don't know. So you will open your project and at first you will be really confused. You will have no idea, so then you go to like your plans of like ground floor, first floor, second floor, whatnot. However it is, you measure those and you will create a first floor or whatever you want. I don't know what environment you're creating. You could be on the 37th floor of a building, I don't know. And then you will have like a clean slate and you will insert like rooms and figure out, like, there comes the complicated part. You will like put in whatever size you think is right, and then you will try and fit your furniture in there, basically. If it's too small, you can just resize the whole room until it looks right and whatnot. So there are a lot of options for furniture. What I really enjoy is that everything in this app, it has like a black outline and it's very plain and just white and gray. Grayscale, I love grayscale. It's really good when you don't want to think. And you could use, like, of course you're going to screenshot it if you want to use it as a background, the thing you're making here, which I believe that's why you clicked on this, right? And you can use it in 2 ways, or at least I thought of 2 ways to use it. The first one being, you can use it for guidelines, which means that you use like the screenshot as a reference to the perspective and the objects and which place you want them to be. But then you draw over the whole thing, changing the whole furniture, like you want it to be, I don't know, vintage and details, so you add couch and then you make it more vintage and whatnot. Or you add like paintings and you draw like these embellished, sculpted frames and I don't know. Or you can do it like me and be lazy and just put the whole thing on multiply and like do it like that. I had an issue though, because I made Selena's room, right, because I knew that I wanted to draw an interaction between Selena and Kate. And so I had her living room, which is also the place where her dining room and kitchen is. I don't know why, but I usually deviate? No. I usually tend to make the rooms in every single house, like dining room, living room, and kitchen all together, like one room. I took a few screenshots of what I want. The whole thing, like, I just started zooming around the whole place and trying to figure out, like, oh, what angle do I like? What do I want in the back and whatnot? I had no idea of what I wanted, so I did the sensible thing and asked my mom for help, of course. So I went up to her and I was like, Mom, which one? So I showed her 2 pictures and then she stared at me and was like, well, it depends on what you want to make. And I was like, yeah, you think? We were like, well, like, what are the people doing? And I was like, I don't know, chatting, interacting. And she was like, well, I like that plant right there. And I was like, well, if you like the plant in the foreground, there's also this one picture, it has the right. And she was like, yeah, but I like the plant. And as I stared at the picture, it just came up to me and I was like, dude, I have the best idea ever. I could just throw someone on the ground there. And that's what I did. So I outlined the background a bit better because I thought that the outlines of the app, they weren't as visible or as clean as I wanted, especially in the foreground area of the things that you will actually see more clearly. I wanted those to be a lot more visible and cleaner. So I sharpened those up a bit and I added some curtains in the back. Like the app has curtains, but I knew that I wanted them to be like very transparent, and I thought that I could get that effect better if I just drew them in the app and added like an overlay layer on it so that you could still see the windows in the back. After I did that, I looked at the picture and like the lighting was very plain and simple and basic, and I was like, no, we want dramatic lighting. So I started like adding very harsh shadows and a bit of lighting, but mostly like just sharp shadows and just adding depth to it, you know, make it a bit more cinematic, more lively, more real. All in grayscale. Ugh, I love grayscale because it's just so easy to put everything on multiply mode and just put the flat colors beneath it. Which is exactly what I did. So after I have the vibe right, I add stick figures to like figure out where I want the people to be, which in this case I'll be using Selena, Cave, and Jellish. And then to like figure out the poses, I decide to use silhouettes of the people because I don't know why, but it's a lot easier for me to figure out the anatomy and the pose when I'm just drawing blobs for some reason. It's way easier for me to pose them. I could have used like pose maniacs. I remember, my brain still works. He plants new sun, right? What I love about my three little characters here, I love them. They're my little babies and they're my main characters, even though they're not really. I mean, Selena is, sure. The other two, I'm unsure. I don't know what's happening in the story, okay? Like, all of them are main characters to me. Don't question me, okay? I don't know what's going on either. But, like, they're all related. They grew up together. They're their childhood friends, right? And what I really love is that they all, like, represent the primary colors. And, okay, let's get into the primary color debate, okay? I know that the primary colors are cyan, magenta, and yellow. But in this case, I'm using RGB, okay? I'm using... Wait a minute. Yeah, technically. Red, green, and blue, but the thing is, yellow, like, okay, so hear me out. We all know cyan, magenta, and yellow are the primary colors. You can literally watch a video online that you will see a person use, like, magenta to make red. The only color you can't really make is yellow, I think. So then people are like, no, but red, yellow, and blue are the colors, and you can just watch a video and you will see, okay? But, like... Cave has a thing where he is yellow and green all at once, so RGB or RYB all like work for him in the same case, because before Cave actually died, he was a green boy, he had green eyes, he loved wearing green and whatnot. Nowadays he's dead, so he wears yellow. He's just dead. He's just an angel. Even though he doesn't have the feathers and whatnot. I don't know, he died, okay? He died. He's dead. Get over it. He's gone. Like, he's there, but he's gone. To make them blend in, back to the drawing, right? To make them blend into the background, y'all know what I do, right? I add a big old shadow on multiply mode, purple, of course, to, like, show, oh, these windows in the back are casting lights on them, so they're, like, in shadow if you look at them from this angle. And then... Jellish sort of has that going on as well, but like in his case, there's a window right in front of him, on top of him, over him, I don't know, lighting. And for him it's less strong than for Selene and Cave in the back. And after that, I like sort of just erase the parts that, you know, like give form to their human bodies. And I just start rendering with colors because I love colors, and since I do that, then the background looks kinda so then I have to add colors to the background as well, because I'm never having enough colors in my illustration, right? I need to make everything colorful, as if I'm using some illicit substances. Anyways, not that we will get into that. I don't do anything. Believe me, I sound really much like a very truthful person when I say it like this, right? You believe me, I'm very honest. Anyways, good thing you believe me. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I started adding colors to the background, but then they sort of like look very muddy and whatnot, so I'm like, okay, I'll just let you be for a minute. So then I add some effects here and there, like the rays of sunlight coming through the window above Jellish, some speckles of like dust floating in the air that are getting hit by light, some overlay layers of light here and there. Then some more stuff in the shadows, add a bunch of textures on top to like give it some dimension. I also added a sort of like watercolor, not watercolor, but like a watery reflective thing to like wear jellyfish, because I imagine, like, knowing Selena, of course, right? I know Selena personally. I'm kind of her creator. She would definitely have like a sort of stained window somewhere, something that like creates that sort of stained window reflective light thingy. So I wanted to add sort of that to like the illustration, and Jellish was the perfect subject for that since he's closer to the camera. I don't know. What I did to clean this whole thing up was I left it a bit, right? Because sometimes you just have to walk away from your illustration and just sort of figure things out and let your brain process a bit. And the next day I went back into it in Paint Tool Sai, which I don't have a recording for because I'm lazy, and I decided to just clean it up a bit, make the shadows a bit sharper, more like refined, less poorly blended, and added some strands of hair here and there, and like I just made things a lot cleaner because it just looked a bit lost and everything. And I don't know, I refined the whole illustration, of course. I added some better lines here and there. I defined the lamp in the back a bit because that was getting a bit lost in the background, and it was just a thing, right? I went back and forth between everything, trying to keep in mind that if I liked a certain part, I shouldn't go over it and just let it be because I liked it the way it is. Sometimes I have a tendency to clean up places that look messy, but I like the way that it looks messy. I don't know, I'm just stupid, I guess. So, anyways, something else that I did was deal with Cave's wings, okay? I have an issue with wings. I did make a study recently about wing anatomy once again, and now they make a lot more sense in my head. I figured out like the 6-7 parts of the wings and how they overlap on each other and whatnot, but in this case I actually did photo bashing or matte painting, I still don't know, where I grab a part of a picture and then add it and then paint over it and whatnot, sort of implement it into the drawing. I did that for Cave's wings and Selena's rose crown. If you didn't know, Cave's wings are cut because in Xelium, if you aren't using, like, if you're some sort of unnatural being, because the human being is like really concerned with getting overthrown, like a throne, like a king, you know. Basically, they want to be on top of the food chain. Human beings are really scared of getting taken over, right? So since like angels and whatnot and geometrals, they're like more powerful than people, they have to find a way to like be on top of them still. So with angels, if you don't use your powers, your angelic powers, in favor of humans, they usually make you cut your wings so that you don't fly anymore, like what they do with birds whenever they have birds as pets, which let's not get into it, okay, because that's a long talk. I have a lot of personal opinions on that. I don't know why I told you this. I just fixed Cave's wings and added the rose crown for Selena and sort of blended that in. Anyways, here's the finished illustration. I really like how this turned out. I think that it looks really good. Hasn't been that long since I made an illustration I really liked, but it felt like it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me blabbing about. I'm pretty sure I sound really monotonous. It tends to happen to me, I don't know why. And I don't know, I hope you have a nice day and night, okay? Bye.